fault. Why is everything somebody else? First of all, it's not China's fault it's here. And no, it's not Trump's fault it's here either. You could lay a lot of blame on Trump for how it's been handled. Especially given like his direct quotes about not handling it at all.
My favorite part is he talks about how it's not to be feared and we're supposed to go on with our lives, but now he's taken to calling it the plague.
It's something we just have to live with. That was one of his quotes. Something we just have, or deal with. It's something we just have to deal with. It's just like acid reflux. You just got to deal with it. Go about your normal life, deal with it. Every now and then you get COVID.
I feel like he handled himself fairly well last night.
Oh, compared to his last one, a million times better. Hello. And now Rudy Giuliani's got dick pics floating around. So, all right. Gotta love it.
Oh, it's so good.
How did we get off on this now?
We started talking about the COVID-19 411. Fat Mack, everybody's favorite segment on our podcast. Yes. Kicking off this segment, the Orange County, Florida Department of Health has currently assembled a strike team to investigate several locations as potential locations where COVID-19 might be spreading. This includes 3 WWE venues. Holy shit, I didn't even know they used 3 places.
I thought it was all in one damn garage.
It is believed that several trainees from the Performance Center and or NXT talent made formal complaints about daily operations and protocols not being followed. A few weeks ago, a couple of people spoke up at an NXT taping about what they called anti-maskers not following the guidelines outside of NXT and training classes, while potentially putting others at risk due to their actions. The WWE NXT Arena on the campus of Full Sail University, WWE Performance Center, and the WWE Thunderdome at the Amway Arena are included on a list of 17 businesses that the county health department has asked the strike team to look into as potential locations where the coronavirus might be spreading. According to WFTV in Orlando, Health Officer Raul Pino noted that people in their late teens and early 20s are gathering to cheer on their favorite teams and wrestlers, and the virus is spreading. Pino sent a list of bars to Orange County strike team for further investigation, adding that people who have tested positive for COVID-19 are saying these locations are more than others as places where they might have been affected. Among the other locations targeted include multiple bars, an Amazon distribution center, and Jesus School.
Oh, no, not Jesus School.
It's not a good year for conservative Christians.
It's a rough time for Jesus School. Yeah, WWE's really, they're getting called out here. They're getting called out.
3 out of 17 doesn't look good, does it?
Especially when that's like their only 3, I think. So that's like 100% of where they're filming. Ouch, not good. And yeah, when it comes to Florida, 3 out of 17 is pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the 17 in Florida, and I don't care what it is.
If you're in Florida and a government agency is calling you bad, that's bad.
If there's a list of the greatest 17 people in Florida, I think those 17 are horrible people.
Right.
They're in Florida. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like not good. Not good at all. So we're definitely going to follow up on this story. Hopefully we get more information about what the strike force finds. I love that they got a strike force.
Right.
Like, they're not just investigating it, they're striking it.
At WWE Survivor Series, it's the County Strike Force versus Retribution.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Like, one of WWE centers actually gets shut down, and they have... Well, they did it back in the day with the... when the Parent-Teacher Council was talking about how horrible they were. They mocked the PTC with the RTC, right, to censor. Yep. I would love to see them mock this strike force. Shut us down. Retribution's coming for you. That's good. And by the way, I don't know if they still own the trademark to this or not, but there was a WWF team called Strike Force, which was Rick Martel and Tito Santana, which actually started in AWA. Here in Minnesota, Paystee.
That would be so awesome if WWE still owned the rights and sued them
exactly.
for investigating. It's too close. It's too wrestling adjacent.
Strike Force. I hope they could, if they still own that trademark, they can at least make that. You know what I mean? Make a group Strike Force. Even why not bring Tito Santana or Rick Martel or both in as the managers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, that'd be great.
Fucking awesome.
By the way, Strike Force was a great tag team, and I recommend you go watch some old Strike Force tag team matches on the WWE Network. Speaking of that, after 3 positive COVID tests, Paystee, it's a gross understatement to say that GCW or Game Changer Wrestling's collective shows probably could have gone better earlier this month.
They really changed the game.
Damn right they did. A lot of people's games, not just their own. They straight hit the eject button, blew on the cartridge, threw it in a case, and popped in another one. An interview with Fightful promoter Brett Lauderdale said that there was, you know what, I visited his fort down in Texas. Anyways, he said that there will be more safety precautions put in place for future events under the GCW banner. When asked specifically about differences between the collective and this week's The Last Resort, Lauderdale responded thusly. It's a smaller crew in wrestlers and staff. One of the things we've done is no one traveled to California this week without a negative COVID test. Everyone participated in that. Most people have gotten 2 tests, and most of them in the latter part of the week. Some of the other things we're doing is dramatically cutting back on the personnel in the locker room. I've stressed, unless you are in the ring, you are expected to be wearing a mask. There's going to be no physical interaction between wrestlers and fans this week. This has been our policy the whole time, but we're going to be on top of it extra this time.
I just see him as twisting terms. No one is allowed to, one of the things done is no one traveled to California this week without a negative COVID test. Negative meaning positive because it's a bad thing.
Right. Folks, I just want you to keep what I just read in mind as we go through the rest of this COVID news. Just keep it in mind.
Recent Ring of Honor signee Tony Deepin was one of the wrestlers participating in the collective a few weeks ago, and he recently announced that he has tested positive or negative for COVID-19, tweeting COVID results came back positive or negative. If you're dumb and didn't already get one, get one. Thankfully, everyone I was around all weekend all had negative or positive test results. Even the people I was in the car with for 9 hours. I guess I'm just the lucky one.
Yeah.
Or unlucky.
Right. And Paystee indie wrestler AJ Gray announced Wednesday he tested positive for COVID-19, although he isn't experiencing any symptoms, writing, "Well, I got some bad news. Last COVID test just came back, and I tested positive. Or negative. I don't really have any symptoms at all, but I'm still stuck on a 14-day quarantine, so yeah, this blows." He was pointing at his girlfriend. "It's hella inconvenient right now, because, boy, I need to be at work. But it is what it is. I'm finna crack my blinds and look out my window like I'm locked up." So, Paystee, this past weekend, Gray faced the Great Scott at HMW New Texas Pro Texas Grand Prix and wrestled against Joey Janela at, wait for it, GCW The Last Resort.
No wonder Joey Janela wasn't at Dynamite this week, huh?
So just to remind you, when asked specifically about the differences between Collective and The Last Resort, it's a smaller crew. We're going to be on top of it extra this time.
And yes, as I blew out of the water, speaking of Janela, he faced AJ Gray at The Last Resort. AEW announced that he had to be pulled from the Dynamite show due to being exposed at the aforementioned event. God, he could have killed Kenny Omega.
And Paystee, don't forget, at the last resort, they're gonna be on top of it extra this time. I just fucking love within 1 week we got this. That's fucking awesome. Oh, man. It's good shit. It's like 2020's writing its own book. I love it. He was so confident when he said that, like less than a week ago. Everything's going to be good at the last resort. We got this. We're on top. We learned from our mistakes. It's all going smooth. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Damn it.
Bet AEW doesn't let them use any more of their wrestlers again, huh? They fucked up a tournament.
I hope the hell not. God. Why would you... First of all respect to AEW and Joey Janela and GCW, which I love and I think is one of the greatest, biggest independent promotions out there. Why in the fuck during this pandemic would you let any of your contracted wrestlers go to any sort of independent event? I don't even know that I'd let them go to NWA, Impact. This is not the time to be sharing talent. It sucks for us as fans, yes, but...
They're teasing potential crossovers with New Japan now. Yeah, smart.
Just bring it back to Japan. They've almost got it under control. Well, Paystee, we're laughing, we're joking, and you know what? A lot of it is so over the top that you have to, and the truth is, you have to laugh at anything so negative. You got to find a little bit of positive, but I'm just going to bring it down for a moment because John Cardrone, known to wrestling fans as Johnny Meadows, died of COVID-19 complications this last Tuesday. Cardrone, who was close to 60, had been fighting the virus since late September. According to the Daily Times, Cardrone had been on a ventilator since September 28th, and Cardrone began his wrestling career for Southern Championship Wrestling, where he faced off against performers such as Abdullah the Butcher, the Mongolian Stomper, Big John Studd, Blackjack Mulligan, who is the uncle of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, Terry Taylor, you might know as the Cock-a-doodle-doo man, the Red Rooster, Kevin Sullivan, Hector Guerrero, who of course was the Gobbledygooker, and Dick Murdoch, who has made a reemergence in NWA as of late. He also held title matches against world champions Ric Flair and Crazy Luke Graham. He held victories over notable names such as the Stomper and Ric Flair. Johnny also had brief stints. They're never
gonna know, but that's awesome.
That is some of the best shit. I don't know what happened. Johnny also had brief stints in Georgia Championship Wrestling, Mid-Atlantic, NWA, WCW, WWF, ECW, AWA, Smoky Mountain, Continental, Tennessee Mountain Wrestling, AWA, and several other organizations. God, he was a journeyman. Besides Johnny Meadows, Cardrone portrayed several other wrestling characters and tag teams, including the Paradise City Rockers with Joey Kazana, the Dream Team with Don Lucas, the Cruisers with Terry Bronson, the Stingers he portrayed in NWA WCW henchmen for Ric Flair when he was going against Sting, Brian Pillman, and various other NWA WCW wrestlers. Also the Red Rocker and the Italian Stallion, and we're not talking about Sly Stallone's porno flick. Cardrone was also a Dove and Grammy-nominated ASCAP songwriter with long-running stints with touring bluegrass groups Tranquility Express and the Rowan State Boys. So he had a little musical touch. Maybe if he hadn't died, Jericho and MJF could have used him.
Yeah.
But he died.
But he did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad. And this, I know he probably wasn't doing much in wrestling, but this should be a statement to all companies. Don't use legends currently. Like, that's a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea. Hey, you know what sounds like a good idea? Let's get The Undertaker and Stone Cold back together for a podcast.
Right. I mean, Terry Funk is probably good. Go ahead and book Terry Funk. He's solid. But the rest of them, I'd stay away from.
Sad stuff.